Hello, Alex. Good to see you here. I'm happy to have you, and I'm happy to walk you through around this proposal that we made for you. I hope you like it. So, let me introduce you first on what is our intent for you. This is not only a tool change; it's an order engine that we want to make for you. So it's not only solving specific things; it's actually solving a workflow for you. And this is important because it will upgrade your delivery speed, accuracy, and scale. So how are we gonna start this? First of all, is by acknowledging the problem, right? Um, so you pointed out three different things in our conversation. The first thing is that it was complex. The second is that it was manual, and also that it was chaotic. So what's our product vision for you? First of all, that it must be a professional platform. It should have an structured intake to guide your users through the process. So it mirrors your real workflow. It doesn't need to be explained to someone new, for example. It should be highly automated. For example, generating pricing and also integrated with other portals. It's a very important part for you. The third one is document generation. Documents are really important here in order to make an order successful, right? So overall, this is the vision. How are we gonna do this? The first phase is the core flow and foundation. This is where the intake and pricing engine takes place. So everything UI is here. Then the fee schedule data model as well. That means the calculation of pricing and the generation of files, of documents that you need to fulfill any order. And the phase two is more like an extension of the phase one. The phase two is more about implementing the missing points that phase one didn't have. For example, in the integration with the other portals, which is more more kind of a backend part of this product. We need to measure the uploads by line of item and then approval workflow on HCPS codes. So that is very important. On the third phase is the nice to have ones, the ones that you mentioned that will be a blast to have in order to make it even better. So that is mostly the vendor order routing and the authorization item tracking, right? So let's concentrate in the first phase. On this phase, we're gonna do a one sprint deep dive in order to solve it. What's the goal here? The goal is just the pricing engine and the intake flow. We need to do that with real data. So we need to guide the user to take an order with the real information that they have. The second one will be having the product fee schedule data model and also the live pricing calculations. That's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to go through. So let me walk you through the prototype. Here it is. As you can see here, we have the patient and clinic information. We have insurance and payment information and the order details. This is the first thing that any user will see when entering this platform. So if we can just give it a try, here we can detail every product where we can choose from your database, or from the database this platform will have every listing of every product that you have available. So here, for example, we will choose this one. It has its codes attached to it, and you can choose the quantity of it and the size of variant. It not only displays the vendor also, but also displays the cost and the MSRP. For now, we are taking MSRP for either insurance payment or self-pay payments. Um, so here below you have the total cost, and you can submit an order. Submit. Perfect. So here you can see everything that is generated by this order, and you can even have the two documents that you initially need, the encounter form and the patient invoice. The third one, which is the POD, won't be generated until the order is arrived. But what happens when an order is arrived already? Well, it's easy, because you can have these previous orders in this history view. As you can see here, you can have this different status of every order, and you can have register of what happened to each of them. For example, this is also already delivered. You can expand the details and actually find the documents. As you can see, the three documents are already here working and ready for you. Going back to the order form, we can add as many products as we want, and it will auto scroll to each product, so the user can always focus on what's important right now. Also, you can see that when an order is not complete, the software doesn't allow to submit it, because we need more data about it. And also, let's say we choose a product that needs some kind of authorization. It actually warns you about it. It tells you approval required. It doesn't let you submit the order until it is approved. And here is the type of approval that you need to have on this. Okay, so how do we measure success? The success criteria for this phase is really important. It is the order time reduced to 6 minutes per order. Then is the zero formula errors processed by the system. So adoption for us is also important to validate that it is fixing the frictions that your workers have. Okay, that's it. With that, I can say goodbye and thank you very much for your time. I hope you find this interesting and insightful, and most importantly, clear. Thank you. Here I'm going to explain you how I use AI for this challenge. First of all, I do a setup locally in my machine, and I start to run OpenAI Codex and Gemini CLI. The first thing I do is to assign them with different roles. OpenAI is good at overviewing stuff, so it will be the reviewer, and Gemini is really good at deep research and doing the craft, so it will be the insider. The first thing I do is to ingest the insider with different research that I made and documentation from for example, in this case, from the conversation with the client. From there, I start to generate PM documentation. At the same time, I do a manual process. And for that, I ask myself the what, the why, and how. This is very important to me in order to understand what's important inside the conversation that I had with the client and what the client actually needs. From there, I start to create a diagram, and that diagram gives me the enough understanding to create a written document, which is mostly for the agents to be ingested. So I ingest this document to the reviewer, and the reviewer also compares and critiques all of the PM deliverables made by Gemini. Therefore, I can have a very clear contrast of what the AI is generating and what did I generate. From this point on, all of my files are used to give the insider a better context of what's going on. Based on this context, I can also start to generate the BPMN, for example, then create the design systems, then create the style sheets, CSS, and tailwheel configurations. This is very useful for the developer. And create a component list. After that, I start to design. That's the fun part. I start to create a library with colors and fonts based on my research, create the components, and finally use all of this inside of Figma Make as a context. One other thing important in this is that I use GitHub for all of this process. How do I do this? Since everything that I generate and I iterate with AI inside of my computer, it is text, I can have a version control of it. This not only helps me to share it with other PMs, but also helps me to understand how it is my process through this product.